Hello, welcome to your Freedom of Flow contact staff tutorial on fishtails. Fishtails take quite a bit of wrist control. The first prerequisite I would try would be just some wrist control side to side, getting used to this lock between this point and this lock, getting used to locking side to side. Just getting used to what that wrist lock feels like and that wrist lock feels like. Just getting used to that. If you're comfortable, we can even switch wrists side to side. Just our back lock, just our back lock, and just our front lock. This is just a little training exercise to get used to what the locks are required for a fishtail. The first step to a fishtail will be getting used to putting it on our wrist. So we're going to have above center point is going to be above our wrist, and we're going to do a hand wrap, and we're going to do a backwards hand wrap. So we're going to wrap it onto our wrist. Bring the staff up behind and catch. So you can see what this looks like from behind. Center point above the back, a hand wrap, bring it up behind, and then we're just looking to catch it. We're just doing the first part of a fishtail. Catch. Catch. Hand wrap, wrist, behind, catch. You can even do it in parts. Wrist, behind, catch. Again, wrist, behind, catch. If you're struggling, again, slow it right down. Back of the hand, bring the staff head up and behind, and catch. Once that's comfortably happening to the back and it's falling off, then we can start to bring in section 2. And section 2 is to the back. Once we have it to here, we use that lock we were just practicing and we bring it up and forward. You can just catch there. We can even do the second part on its own. Front hand wrap, center point above, front hand wrap, in front, catch. Back hand wrap, behind, catch. Front hand wrap, in front, catch. Behind, catch. Front hand wrap, wrist, again wrist, in front, catch. Once they're comfortable, we can put them together. And what that looks like, back and catch. Continuing to just find that up and back, forwards and up. Up and back, up and forwards. Up, 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 up. And if you're struggling with this, but you have found some comfortability in the backhand wrap to the catch, you're in the right zone. If you are struggling to find the forwards catch, I just suggest going earlier. So again, the reason why we call it a fishtail is we're doing nice big tail of a fish side to side. It actually looks like a figure of 8. And if we're struggling to find the forwards catch, think of it just early. Behind catch and early catch. Because if you find that you're struggling, you might just be a little late. And it's just getting used to this motion. If you start to bend your arm like this at the back, you might start to find you come up there, not helpful. What you really want is a nice straight arm, and it's just pivoting on our center point here on the side. Pivot, 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 pivot. Up and forward, up and back. Up and forward, up and back. Okay, if that has become comfortable, all the same with the left hand. Again, starting with a backhand wrap, behind, catch. Then we can do the second part, front hand wrap, in front, catch, behind, catch, in front, catch. That's often enough to get a feeling. Sometimes once you've started to get that feeling, it'll be challenging to find the flow of a continuous fishtail. there's a second technique for learning this, and it can help different areas and different people at different times. So the second type of fishtail, way of learning a fishtail, is finding the balance point, center, finding the balance, putting just 2 fingers or 3 fingers, I suggest just 2 on top, right on top, not at the front, not at the back, right on top. And then you can get used to just this motion, up and back, up and forwards. And what this hand on top is doing, it's just guiding. See how I'm not grabbing it, I'm literally just with 2 fingers, just helping my left hand or my bottom hand find the motion of a continuous fishtail. And this is a backwards fishtail. Once we start to find that continuous motion, we can start to have less pressure with the top hand. Less pressure. Once we start to feel that a little more, we can have no pressure. Yeah, just getting used to what that feels like. If we start to struggle again, we can bring that hand in. We start to feel a bit more comfortable, we can bring that out. And this is just a really helpful guide as a way to help you find a continuous fishtail. My arm stays relatively straight. As you can see here, the pivot point is on the side of my body. I pivot. If I come all the way in front, I have to come all the way back. So it's easiest in the beginning just to find a nice, small circles. You can do it really big, but this is just more energy and more control required. So again, simplifying it down, backhand wrap, catch, front hand wrap, catch. Once we find that, we can start to try and do continuous. If that's a struggle, we can even start to guide with our top hand. Back, front, back, front. Once that comes easier, releasing that top hand and just getting used to relaxing our shoulder, relaxing our arm, and really letting our wrist do the work. Pinch point, catch, 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 catch. Enjoy. Fishtails are quite a challenge in the beginning. Repetition, a little bit every day, becomes a lot easier to find the smooth, easeful fishtail. I recommend getting comfortable in the normal fishtail, a backwards fishtail to begin with. Then I have some variations. Variation 2 would be a 2 beat. So if this is a 1 beat, and we call this a 1 beat because it's just beating one head in the front and it's beating one head in the back. Once we are comfortable with this type of fishtail, we can even bring the extra head over and around for the extra beat. Then we're in our normal fishtail. Again, all the way around, continuing that circle. We can just find this circle all on its own. This is our extra beat fishtail. I call it a 2 beat. Second beat and back into our 1. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you want to find the exit point, it's just here. Boom, boom. Again. And just allowing that extra, the back head to be released. So we will come around, full circle. We don't want to come out to the side. We want to continue that circle, that pathway. Once we get to our side here, we can bring our back head out and continue our 1 beat fishtail, or our normal backwards fishtail. Once we have found comfortability in 1 and 2, I then offer a 3rd beat. So we go 1, 2, then we can bring it up to our elbow, and this is our 3rd beat, our extra beat with our elbow. So to show you that transition again, we're in our elbow, We lock down onto our wrist, into our second beat into our one beat, or our normal backwards fishtail. So again, backwards fishtail, extra all the way around, into our third beat fishtail. It's a little bit trickier, very important to stay in the center. It's a lot easier in the center. And around into our two, out into our one. That is our fishtail in the backwards direction. 1, 2, and 3 beats, with our normal backwards fishtail broken down into 2 main sections, also with guiding. If you enjoy this, let me know. Happy flowing to you, Mikhail.